Hello, and thank you so much for joining us here today for how to get started selling with Google Shopping Actions. Whether you've been selling online or have recently pivoted to an e-commerce model, you may be wondering, what can you do to get your products in front of more people? Now, for smart online retailers, that means branching out beyond your own website to other marketplace platforms that allow you to sell your products to increase your sales, such as Google Shopping Actions. And of course, as you start to sell on these different platforms, the harder it can be to manage your inventory and orders. And that's where ecomdash by Constant Contact can help. My name is Dave Charest, and I'm joined, I'll be your moderator today, and I'm joined by experts from ecomdash by Constant Contact and Google. Nick and Atish, welcome. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you so much, Dave. Good to be here.
So maybe, here's what's going to happen today for everybody on the line. Atish and Nick have some slides for us, and they're going to share with us, and then we're going to open it up for questions at the end of the session. Now, you should send in your questions at any time using the question windows on the right side of your screen, and we're going to do our best to answer those at the end. Please do keep in mind, though, that we may not be able to answer every question here on the line here today. We do have some people in the back end helping us as well, but we'll send you a follow-up email with a link where you can we'll do our best to answer more of those questions on our community later on. So, Nick, before we hand it over to Atish to take us through our agenda today, would you mind telling us a little bit about ecomdash?
Sure, happy to, Dave. So hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name's Nick. So ecomdash is a software as a service platform, and we primarily do inventory, order, and listing management. And we are supporting small businesses that sell on multiple places online, whether you're selling on marketplaces like Google Shopping Actions or shopping carts like your Constant Contact store or Shopify, and you're looking to integrate maybe even your shipping providers. We really provide all the plumbing in terms of syncing your inventory across channels, taking your listings from one channel and pushing those product listings to another channel. We can even help you print your shipping labels, your packing slips, your pick list. We can connect to your warehouses, but really it's really the back-end supply chain from an online perspective that we're supporting. And we, about 7 months ago, back in September, we became part of the Endurance Group and obviously part of the Constant Contact family. And we're just happy to be here and really happy that Atish is joining us from Google.
Awesome. Well, it's great to have you here, and thanks for that explanation. And with that, Atish, I'm going to hand it over to you so you can take us through our agenda for today.
Thank you so much, Dave. I just want to cross-check. Are you able to see my screen?
Yep, we see you perfectly. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Once again, thank you, Dave. Thank you, Nick, and the Constant Contact team to sort of give me the opportunity to speak with everyone present here today on what Google Shopping is all about. Definitely excited to share what's new and what's latest. Some of us who are present here may have heard a lot of news, a lot of announcement recently with respect to Google Shopping, so more than happy to cover that as well. And I'd like to sort of call this as turning answers into actions. This is what Google's best at, is providing answers, and the Google Shopping umbrella sort of takes it one step further, and how do we actually convert those answers and trigger purchases and trigger actions and those sort of moments. With that, let's just dive in. This is what I have on the agenda today. So as I said, I'll start off with talking about what's new and latest, what's this recent announcement, what it's all about, and primarily how do we actually reach the millions of shoppers that Google has available. How do we actually reach those shoppers? Followed after that, I'll sort of briefly talk about what is shopping within Google Shopping, what is Shopping Actions all about, what's in it for all of us present here, merchants, resellers, retailers, brands. What do we get out of working with Shopping Actions? Then I will sort of move on to talking about some quick tips and tricks on how to onboard yourself on the Google Merchant Center, which is the hub for everything shopping and Shopping Actions. How do we get started? How do we get onboarded? And we'll probably hear from Nick as well at this piece on how are we integrated with ecomdash, and how can we sort of ensure that merchants are onboarded seamlessly on the platform. And last but not the least, will be more than happy to sort of take questions as we go. Please feel free, as Dave mentioned, that please feel free to add questions along the way. Hopefully, we'll be able to get enough time at the end to sort of answer all of them. And in case we don't, or we'll be more than happy to sort of follow up on those questions as well. Before we actually dive into what's happening on Google Shopping, let me just sort of briefly tell you about the mission for Google Shopping, which is to build delightful experiences that bring users, retailers, and manufacturers together in a seamless fashion throughout the shopping journey. Very similar to Google's mission of organizing the world's information and making it accessible for users. Similarly, Google Shopping has a mission to sort of organize the world's assortment and offers in a single place, so as to provide users with the umpteen amount of inventory and that's accessible to them. And in turn, sort of build the world's largest catalog. And which sort of makes me talk about one of the ways that we're doing this is by what's actually happened lately on Google Shopping. I'm hoping some of you may have read the news, read the announcement. It definitely came out in the press that it's actually now free for all merchants to sell on Google, right? So let me just sort of explain this to you the best way I can. Google Shopping up until now was actually powered by product listings from retailers and brands that were actually advertisers on the platform. So up until now, only retailers and merchants that were advertising were actually eligible for their products to be shown on the shopping property. And when I say shopping, when I say ads, these are primarily PLA ads. Some of us who are actually present here maybe experimenting with PLA ads, or probably maybe heavy use of PLA ads as well. Ads has, of course, we've been in the business for a decade. Is a big business for us. It's proven well for a lot of small, medium, and large businesses. And over time, of course, it's become the shopping ads bit has, of course, become very competitive. Over time, it's become expensive. There are so many evolved large advertisers who actually use PLA ads for their day-to-day business. And just to sort of make it a level playing field now for everyone, for all types of merchants, we've actually now introduced free listings. So now it actually becomes an ads and a non-ads model, very similar to how Google search operates. So if you talk about Google search, I think all of us would be fairly comfortable with it. If you actually search for anything on google.com, you'll actually see ads coming up at the top, and then you'll see a bunch of organic listings and organic content, and then again followed by ads. So we're also sort of moving in the same direction with this announcement. And the Google Shopping property will now be a mix of ads and non-ads, shopping actions, and free listings as well. To be honest, this launch was actually planned at the end of the year, and we've, with the pandemic and merchants being stuck with inventory, users not getting enough access to inventory, we actually put the launch forward so as to connect users and merchants specifically at this point in time where it becomes quintessential to sort of connect these two players in the ecosystem. So hopefully this will definitely be useful for most of us in the room. Now within this is actually an attempt from me to sort of explain what all comes under Google Shopping. The end objective, of course, from a merchant perspective, is to sort of how do we actually reach the millions of shoppers that are actually available on Google, and how does the merchant actually sell on Google. From a user perspective, there are basically two options for merchants that are actually selling on Google. From a user perspective, one, you can either buy on the merchant website. So a user is actually searching for products on google.com. We actually direct traffic to the merchant website and where the end transaction happens. And then we also have an option now where the users can actually buy on Google hosted pages. So you can actually buy the product on google.com and not go to the merchant website. So I'd like to talk about the three options and just to sort of make things clearer for everyone present. The first option is shopping free listings, which is what I spoke about in the previous slide. Absolutely new. It's just been a couple of weeks since we've rolled this out. This is completely rolled out in the US. We do plan to expand this to most of the countries before end of the year. Now this, as the name suggests, is free listings. Merchants can actually get free impressions and free traffic to their website. And as the name suggests, it's absolutely unpaid, and give access to users who are actually looking for products, right? In this case, as I mentioned, the merchant needs to have a website, and the final transaction happens on the merchant website. But the source of that traffic becomes unpaid and becomes absolutely free. The second option is shopping ads, and as I said, like we've been in this business for a decade, so we're fairly evolved there. The way I'd like you to see this, and some of us may be users of shopping ads as well. The way I'd like you to see this is as like a boost to the free listings. So assuming that we have funds and budgets to back our advertising campaigns, and we want to provide a boost to a specific set of products, and make them more accessible to users looking for them, we actually back them up with funds and run advertising campaigns, and then you essentially see shopping ads coming at the top on shopping properties, on google.com, on Google Images, where you see product carousels, and that will actually, if you click on any of that, it will take you to the merchant website. Again, the transaction happens on the merchant's website, so it becomes a big source of incremental traffic to your website. This of course operates on a pay-per-click basis. So for every click, the merchant needs to pay Google. The third option, and what I'm here to talk about today, is shopping actions, which essentially is a platform which gives the capability to users to actually purchase on google.com. So for merchants who do not have a website, or probably have websites which are not that efficient, not that optimized, or probably not have a website at all, shopping actions becomes like a marketplace offering from Google, where transactions happen seamlessly on Google hosted pages. It gives you the opportunity, and I will talk about this more, it opens a lot of surfaces for merchants to showcase their products. We also have personalized browsing experience on the shopping property. There's a universal cart. You can add products seamlessly, and unlike the ads model, this works on a pay per sale basis, on a commission basis, like typical marketplace offerings. So let me now, I've spoken about the Google shopping property. Let me just talk about what all of this means and how does it actually look when you actually browse. Now, in the previous experience, which is like up until 2 weeks back, if you hypothetically, let's assume you were actually searching for Nike running shoes. In the previous experience on the shopping property, when you actually search for Nike running shoes, you would see mostly shopping ads, which are sponsored ads that used to show up, which would take you to, if you click on them, as I said, it will take you to the merchant website. And sometimes you will actually see shopping actions units. You see that colorful little cart on the left side of the screen, which denotes that it's a shopping actions unit. If a user actually clicks on that, they will actually be taken to Google hosted product pages, and the transaction happens on Google, versus shopping ads where the transaction happens on the merchant website. So the previous experience, it would be powered mostly by ads and ad units, and sometimes shopping units as well, shopping actions units as well. In the new experience, let's assume that we were again searching for Nike running shoes. What happens is that you see shopping ads coming right at the top, and you see that sponsored logo in the top right hand side corner of the screen, which again is the PLA ads that we spoke about. Takes you to the merchant website, and the transaction happens on your website, followed by a shopping actions unit, which will again take you to Google hosted pages, and the transaction happens on google.com, followed by a bunch of organic listings after shopping action. And this is the free listing that we actually spoke about. Now this shopping property will be a mix. After shopping ads and shopping actions, you'll see a bunch of unpaid listings, as long as merchants are using Merchant Center and providing their product feeds and opting in for the program, which is absolutely free. You'll see their products showing up in the new experience as well. And as you can see, like the top right side of free listings, it says about. It's not sponsored. It's absolutely unpaid. So hopefully, I just wanted to sort of put this out there and just sort of try to explain what the new experience is all about, and hopefully you'll see similarity to how google.com operates, how Google search operates, which is first if you actually search for anything on google.com, we'll first see the ads, and then we'll see the organic content. So hopefully, we're going in that direction. It would be great if some of you could probably just try it out. Of course, the experience may vary because it also depends on relevance and personalized activity, but hopefully you'll see something very similar to this. And when I speak about the shopping property, right, so we also have a revamped shopping homepage. So if you actually go to shopping.google.com, or even the shopping app, yes, we do have an app as well. This is the kind of experience that you'll see, and you can now actually browse by category, trends, store offers, storefronts, all of that. And of course, this experience will get personalized basis your activity on Google. From an app perspective as well, and across the shopping property, what I'd like to emphasize is that shopping actions units actually surface much more prominently on the shopping property, right? I would definitely encourage you to sort of download the app. We're still learning, and we're still in that stage where we're continuously evolving and bringing in new functionalities and new features on the app. But I would definitely encourage you to sort of download the app and play around with it. All right, so hopefully I gave you some overview of what Google Shopping is all about, and what sort of options are available for merchants, whether they have websites, they don't have websites, or what all sort of Google provides with respect to enabling merchants to provide their accessible inventory to Google and thereby reach more shoppers. What I'll cover now is specifically with respect to shopping actions. What it's all about, how does that work, and what's in it for all of us present here. So let me just take a stab of broadly explaining the philosophy and methodology for shopping actions. You see 9 applications on the screen, which are all Google applications. That all these applications have more than 1 billion users each. So you can just imagine from a reach perspective what tremendous reach this can actually provide. Now, you may also think that when a user is actually on any of these applications, there are chances that they will come across certain products that may interest them, or they're probably researching stuff like that. What shopping actions does is it gives the user the capability to add products across multiple surfaces in a single unified cart, right? And this colorful little cart that I spoke about, this actually denotes a shopping actions unit. So whenever you see this icon alongside a product listing, this means that it can actually be purchased on shopping actions and can seamlessly check out on Google. So irrespective of which surface you're at, it gives you the capability to add products seamlessly to your Google cart and then proceed to checkout. Our vision is to sort of provide frictionless, personalized shopping experience across Google surfaces. And let me just talk a little bit on what surfaces is shopping actions currently available on. Let me start off with Google.com, right? So if there is any search, any product search on Google search on Google.com, you'll typically see a product carousel at the top, which is primarily powered by PLA ads. But mixed with those PLA ads, you will also sometimes see shopping actions units, which again I've sort of tried to denote with the highlighted circles. So that actually denotes a shopping actions unit, and Google.com, Google search is one surface where you'll actually see this. If you actually keep on browsing through the carousel, it will actually eventually take you to the shopping property, which is the second surface that I want to talk about. The Google shopping property, as I said earlier, you will see shopping actions units prominently featuring on the shopping property. So that becomes another surface where you'll actually see the shopping actions cart, where you can actually end up buying on Google. The third surface is images. Personally speaking, I do check out images a lot when researching or just exploring more about a particular product. I do tend to look at Google Images, and within Google Images also there is an avenue and there is a surface for the shopping actions units to show up and then eventually take them to Google hosted pages, product pages. The next one, and this one I find most interesting is YouTube. We're currently in pilot mode with Nike on YouTube. This is still not public, but we do plan to launch this soon. This essentially what it does is, while a user is, YouTube has a lot of content on, and you see a lot of content being consumed on topics and categories like beauty, apparel, DIY, and a lot of how-to videos as well. So it provides us the opportunity to showcase relevant products while that video is being consumed on YouTube. So what essentially this will do is, this will provide access to users to add products that they probably see on that video, to add those seamlessly to the Google cart that we spoke about. And at the same time, the video does not stop. So you can continue watching the video, and it gives you, a very smooth experience of, adding that product that you found interesting, to add that to your cart, and while you keep continuing to sort of consume that content. The fifth surface I want to talk about is the shopping app. We still haven't doubled down, so we will have a lot of investment behind this app soon. But I would definitely encourage you to try this app out. As I said, it's now personalized basis browsing activity. It gives you access to shareable lists. You're able to build bigger baskets. You're able to reorder. All of that is actually possible on the app experience. And last but not the least, this is also available on the Google Assistant. So irrespective of what hardware device you're using, as long as you're using the Google Assistant, it gives you the capability to sort of, give a voice command and sort of give that capability to the user to add products to their carts. That being said, I'll be honest, like, this is an emerging surface. Voice commerce is also emerging at this point in time. So we don't see a lot of volume on this particular surface, but I would say that we're definitely trying to invest and build for the future. Okay, so hopefully that would have given you some idea on what surfaces we're available on, Shopping Actions is available on. I just wanted to quickly, I would not take much time on this, but I would just wanted to quickly run you through an example that I personally faced some time back, and I tried to sort of capture it. I was actually looking for a television some time back, and somebody told me that there is a brand called Insignia. It's good value for money. It's supposedly a Best Buy brand, and I was actually looking for that brand on Google.com. So I started off my search on Google for an Insignia TV. The next three screens that you see, this is where I actually saw the Shopping Actions units show up. So the first one is actually, as I said, on Google.com. You see that colorful cart, which I've tried to sort of highlight with those red arrows. So that's one surface that it came across on. It also appeared on the shopping property, on the shopping tab, and also on images. So irrespective of which surface you're on, it gave the opportunity for this product to surface. And whenever you clicked on any of these units, you will actually come on the product page, which is the last screenshot on the slide. So it will actually take you to a Google hosted page, and it will provide you the specifications, images, all of that, the catalog basically for that television, and it gives you the option to sort of either add it to cart, or if your credentials are saved and your details are saved, you can actually do a quick checkout as well. Once you sort of add it to cart and or proceeding to checkout, you'll see a one scroll sort of an experience, and like any typical marketplace offering, it will ask you to check the specifications, check the product, check the delivery address, check the price, add any promo codes, payment credentials, and then moving on to the order summary, and then seamlessly placing that order. All right, so for all of us present here, I do want to talk about what are the key value propositions that this offering provides for all the merchants. I do want to start off with that under the new scheme of things, with unpaid listings being announced so very recently, it actually gives you free impressions and traffic to your website, as long as, of course, as you need to have a website. But if you have a website, it will give you free impressions, free traffic, and we will also sort of go on to provide reporting on that traffic as well on Merchant Center soon. So that's one value prop that I see. The second piece is the entire experience. As we're still evolving, but now the entire experience is fairly personalized. The browsing experience that you will witness on the shopping property would be basis your personalized activity on Google. It gives you easy reordering capabilities, building basket sizes. It gives you smart cart suggestions, shareable lists, universal carts, all of that. So from an experience perspective, I think we've we've definitely improved, and I know that we will continue to evolve, learning from user feedback and user behavior. The third piece, we've spoken about this. It gives merchants capability to ensure gives them the avenue to sort of make their products appear on surfaces across Google. So Google Search, Google Images, Assistant, YouTube, and of course, I'm sure many more surfaces would come in soon. Last but not the least, unlike ads, which works on a primarily on a pay-per-click basis, this works like marketplace offerings, shopping actions. It actually works on a pay-per-sale model. And from a commissions perspective, depending on which category we operate in, it typically ranges from 5% to 15%. You can actually simply do a simple Google search on commissions on shopping actions, and all of that is public information as to what are the commissions being charged across categories. But I've been told we're fairly competitive on that front as well. As I said, it works on a pay-per-sale model on shopping actions versus pay-per-click on ads. When we started off shopping actions, this was on an invite-only, whitelist sort of a basis. But over time, we now actually have more than 5,000 merchants and are growing fast. These are some of the merchants that are on the platform. I would say it's a mix of large, medium, and small businesses, and also a mix of retailers, resellers, and brands. And what I tried to sort of speak about Google Shopping earlier is our objective is to sort of have an extensive and exhaustive catalog. We're actually focusing on small and medium businesses now to sort of get access to all inventory that's out there and all assortment that is out there. I do want to speak, roughly on the eligibility for the program. It's primarily shopping actions. For now, it's launched in the US and France. So it's primarily for business for merchants who are looking to do business in the US. I won't talk about all the details, but broadly speaking, since it comes under the Google Shopping umbrella, there needs to be compliance with all shopping ads policies. Some of you may be advertisers with Google and maybe using shopping ads or PLA ads that we spoke about earlier. So all those policies still apply for shopping actions. We are still evolving, and there is still some content that's unsupported for now. For example, we don't support personalization products, customized products, pre-orders for now, and I'm sure things would sort of open up with time. We from a refurbished businesses as well, we don't support them now, but we are in a limited electronics beta where we're trying this out, and I'm sure if things work out well, this will open up soon. So I just sort of briefly wanted to speak about what it would take for merchants to be eligible for the program. So shopping actions also has a retailer standards program that I'd want to talk about. This is very similar to seller standards program that you would come across other marketplaces where we actually distinguish top retailers versus others. The benefit that top retailers actually gets is that on top of the competitive commission rates that we have, top retailers actually get up to 20% discount on those commissions, assuming that they're on all of their qualifying orders. There are a bunch of criteria. Some of them are actually listed on the screen for merchants to be eligible to become a top retailer on the platform. And I will speak about reporting and insights also soon. At the Merchant Center, where you'd essentially, that's the hub for setting up everything on shopping. The Merchant Center does give merchants insights on, what are their standards, where are they at, what are the reasons for them. So it's fairly intuitive and fairly insightful to access those as well. Before actually moving to onboarding, I did want to cover a couple of case studies where we've seen success for merchants. This is a case, Ambush Board Company. It's a skateboarding company. It and they've been on shopping ads. So they've been an advertiser with Google for more than 5 years. They actually included shopping actions in their mix to shopping ads, and they actually saw a massive jump in sales and conversions after bringing shopping actions mixed with their shopping ads. Another example is of a brand called, it's a cosmetic brand, Lala Daisy. They actually, they had not, of course, free listings was not there at that point in time, so no free listings. They were not on shopping ads too. So for them, it was Google Shopping was completely new, and they started off with shopping actions. And they actually did see a 15% increment in sales. And this is, realistically, as I said, we're still growing, and we are wanting to acquire, to onboard more small and medium businesses on the platform. But this should actually give you a realistic number on what the expectation should be like with respect to incremental revenue that you would expect from the platform. It does now, for Lala Daisy specifically, it does now contribute to 12% of their sales. So I would not say that it's their biggest channel, but it's definitely one of their significant channels for revenue. I would like now to move on to talk about how do we actually get started on Google Shopping. Hopefully, by now you would have gotten some taste of what what shopping is all about. What's our vision? From a what's our vision on Google Shopping and how does shopping actions fit in? Hopefully, I would have tried to answer some of try to clarify on that front. I now like to talk about how do we actually get started on the platform. So whether anything with respect to Google Shopping, whether it's even if you're an advertiser, so if you're on PLA ads, or you want to start off with the free listings that we just announced, or on shopping actions, for everything shopping, Google Merchant Center is the hub, right? So it's the hub of everything, everything shopping. You actually need to create an account on Google Merchant Center, provide your business information, and post that you can actually start opting in to different programs. So let me just first talk about free listings that we just announced. To participate in free listings, as I said, first we need to create a Merchant Center account with the business information, and then it's a very simple process. We just need to add the product feed to Merchant Center and opt into the program. So the program is called Services Across Google. So we just need to add the feed, opt into the program, and hopefully soon we will start seeing product listings on the unpaid and free portion on the shopping property. With respect to shopping actions, which is where the transaction happens on Google, which is the marketplace offering from us. Again, we need a Merchant Center account, need to add the product feed. We need to opt into the shopping actions program, and then a couple of obvious steps for marketplace, like setting up your shipping settings, shipping thresholds, delivery zones, all of that, and test your offers and then go live. So I definitely urge you to try this out. I do have quick. I have tried to put together some quick tips and tricks. And typically we've seen merchants who've done this. We see success for them. So I just want to sort of make sure that how are we set up for success. The first piece is on maximizing the assortment. From a free listings perspective, of course, it naturally makes sense since it's unpaid to maximize your assortment on that program. With respect to shopping actions, it's on a pay per sale model. Only if the sale happens is when the commissions are charged. And like I've experienced that merchants typically want to showcase products which are either high margin or which are focused products that are for them to sort of opt in those to the program. But what I would suggest is maximize your assortment, let the system learn, because the system throws results basis relevance and where the users are in their shopping journey. So maximize your assortment, and of course with time try and optimize that. Secondly, naturally we need to be competitive on price. Most of the conversions on the platform happen if the merchant wins the buy box. And of course, price is a big component to the buy box. So I would say be competitive on your price versus other merchants on the platform or versus other marketplaces as well. The third piece is on shipping. Naturally, even shipping becomes a component to winning the buy box. It's important that we enter accurate information in Merchant Center with respect to shipping timelines. Like typically, I've seen like 2-3 days of estimated delivery times typically gets you, typically gets you that buy box. And so all I'm trying to say is we need to ensure that we put in accurate information with respect to shipping and try to make it as fast as possible. And last but not the least, I know I did touch upon this earlier as well. Continue to monitor your performance. The Merchant Center currently gives you insights and reports into some insights and some reports with which you can actually optimize your campaigns. And it would be great if you sort of use those and continuously monitor your performance and optimize them for the better. Some of the reporting that's available on Merchant Center, you'll be able to see what are your orders. You'll be able to see your retailer standards, where do you currently lie. You'll also be able to see how many times you actually won the buy box, how many times did you lose the buy box, what were the reasons, stuff like that. So I would encourage you, whenever you start using Merchant Center and start using shopping actions, do use these reportings. It's one way to sort of figure out how to be more intuitive and more insightful and take the right steps to ensure that we get maximum conversions possible. With that, I'll sort of hand it over to Nick from ecomdash to sort of talk about how we're integrated with ecomdash and how can we sort of seamlessly onboard most of you in the room, hopefully.
Thanks, Atesh. That was super informative. Good stuff. Yeah, if you can go to the next slide, that'd be great. All right, so just a couple slides here, everyone. But essentially, how we work with Google. First and foremost, a big, as a multi-channel, inventory provider, we are really protecting brand reputation and prevent overselling. So, when you make a sale, let's say on your Constant Contact store or your Shopify store, or maybe you're selling on another marketplace like Etsy or Newegg or Walmart or what have you, as soon as an order comes in, we are reducing the quantity on hand across all your other platforms that you're selling on. So in this example, if you sell this tent, let's say you sell one tent on Google, we will then go to your Constant Contact store and reduce the inventory by one to make sure that you're not overselling those items. And this is occurring in like near real time, within minutes, that's happening. And also, we are, from an inventory perspective, we are acting as a centralized system of record for all of your inventory across all your channels. If you're selling something, on Google versus selling something on Etsy versus selling something on Amazon, you may have different identifiers, different SKU numbers, ASINs, you might be using a UPC. It's all really based on the specific channel you're selling on. And that's where ecomdash has unique identifiers where we know exactly and can really map each of those SKUs across all your different channels to really enable you to automate and get your hands around all your inventory and where it's going. We can also manage all your sales orders. So as an order comes in from Google, we can pull in that order, and then based on where you want us to route it to, we can automatically route it to a drop shipper. If you're using a drop shipper, we can automatically route it to a third-party logistics firm that you're using, like a Fulfillment by Amazon. We can also route it to your warehouse, and that might be your own house. That might be your basement is your warehouse. And we also enable you to print your shipping labels. We have integrations with DHL and FedEx and UPS, Stamps.com and Dicia. So you are able to produce all the shipping labels directly from within our platform, as well as packing slips. If you do have your own warehouse, you can print out the pick list as well. You're also able to create new listings. So let's say you have a bunch of listings in your Constant Contact store. Let's say you're selling outdoor camping equipment and you want to take those listings and push those listings out to Google. So, the image, the content, the descriptions, your return policies, price, everything that's included, we make it, we save you a lot of the legwork that's needed to push all the listing information out to new channels. Then lastly, we do have our own API, and we can connect to any unlimited number of warehouses or fulfillment centers via our API or via like an FTP. Again, we will route all your orders based on preset priority. So if an order comes in on the West Coast and you want it to go to your third-party logistics firm on the West Coast, we can easily do that. It's really all based on the SKU number that you want us to route it to as well. So, as I said in the beginning, we're essentially managing all the back end and all the plumbing to really make sure that your processes are automated and all your inventory, and you have one source to go to manage your inventory. So you're not really even having to log into, a Seller Central or a Merchant Center for Google. You're really able just to log into ecomdash and manage all your different multiple online channels from our platform. Next slide, please, Atesh. And then really specifically how we work with Constant Contact. So very similar, we do all the functionality with your Constant Contact shopping cart, as I just described. We'll keep your store product quantities updated. We can list new products on your website. You can also make edits to your existing listings on your Constant Contact site. And again, you can print the labels, the packing slips, everything for anything that you're selling on Constant Contact. And also what's interesting is that we also can take all your contacts. So if you're selling, if you want to pull in all your contacts from the different online sales channels that you're selling to, we have all that information. So we will pull all that information and then upload those contacts to your Constant Contact account. And now you can kind of create your email and social marketing campaigns and targeting those users without having to log into Google Shopping, pull in all those email addresses, log into eBay, log into Etsy, and then do all that separately. We're able to do all that for you and save you a lot of legwork, and then automatically populate a list for you within your Constant Contact account. So with that, happy to answer any questions about this at the end, but I'll turn it back over to Dave.
Thank you both, Tish and Nick. That was very thorough information about using Google Shopping Actions and how ecomdash works with that. So again, thank you guys so much for that. A couple of questions that I see popping up here that are pretty similar that a lot of people are asking is, what about selling services or digital products? Are those something that you can do on Google Shopping Actions as well?
Yeah, thanks, Dave, for that question. So on that eligibility slide that I spoke about, I did speak about some of the unsupported content. For now, digital goods and subscriptions is unsupported. So we're currently we're operating only in physical goods that are being sold. And my short answer is currently we do not have that capability of providing sales services for digital goods and subscriptions.
Gotcha. So here's a question for you, Nick. I heard you mention Etsy stores at the end there. Someone was asking, can ecomdash handle multiple shops on Etsy?
Yes, definitely.
All right, there's your simple answer there. What about, so I think, let me understand if I get this correctly, and then maybe you can give me a thumbs up or not, Tish, but some of the questions around pricing, like what's in it for Google and taking a percentage of sales. So if I'm understanding what you walked us through here correctly, it sounds like setting up a merchant account with Google allows you to list your products, and much like or similar to if somebody is searching for something, if it's the thing somebody is searching for, that may come up organically in search. Then people can also pay to have their products be an ad, which would be the first thing is free. The second thing would be the ad, where people would be a pay-per-click model. Both of those things would point people to their personal websites, right? And then the shopping actions piece of that would be listing them within the shopping actions surfaces. That whole process or that whole interaction or transaction happens within Google, and then Google takes a commission of that particular transaction, correct?
Spot on. So as you said, that it's one Google Merchant Center account. From that account, you can opt into free listings, services across Google, absolutely free for those listings to show up on the shopping property. Second, as you mentioned, ads is on a paid basis. You need to fund those listings to boost your product listings on the shopping property. So that's on a pay-per-click basis because that's an ads module. And last, for shopping actions, it's like a marketplace offering, irrespective of which surface the product listing comes on. It works on a pay-per-sale model like a marketplace offering, and the transaction happens on Google. So spot on.
Excellent. I'm glad I got that then. Look, I'm learning. This is good. And Nick, here's a question for ecomdash. Can ecomdash push products to a merchant's business site as well as Google, Constant Contact, Facebook, etc.?
Like a merchant's business site, I guess I would need a little bit more clarification.
Yeah.
Like we really work with, we can push to any shopping cart. So a shopping cart would be like a Constant Contact store, a Shopify, a BigCommerce, a 3D cart, anything like that. Or we can push to marketplaces, like a Google, a Walmart, Amazon, eBay. As long as we're integrated via API, we can do it. If for some reason we don't have that integration, there are ways to push it, whether, that could mean your business could integrate to our API, or we can do it via an FTP or an SFTP feed. So just it could get a little technical, but we currently integrate with over 50 different e-commerce platforms. So it's happy to answer that question offline to see exactly what they mean by merchant's business site, but hopefully that gives them a little more color.
Gotcha. I have a question here from Patrice, which I think I'll answer here, but as a total newbie here, do you have website building options built in? And so just wanted to touch on that. So Constant Contact does have website building options built into our product that you can build your own website and create your online store, which is also integrated with, of course, ecomdash. And then I think Atish, you mentioned that if people just wanted to sell their products within Google Shopping Actions, they actually don't need a website for that and could just list products within that as well, correct?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Let's see, another question I have here is, all right, Nick, does ecomdash set up my accounts on Walmart, Shopify, and other shopping sites?
No, so you would have to set up your own account, largely because you have to get approved on each of those channels, and obviously enter a lot of personal and sensitive information in there. So once you are set up, you're given credentials or tokens, just to, usernames, etc. And once you have that information, that's all you need for us. So when you onboard with ecomdash, we take you through a very easy setup wizard, and then we ask you step by step to enter that information. And then once you enter that information, really your credentials, then we're connected to those various channels on your behalf, and then everything can kind of automate from there.
Gotcha. Let's see, another question I have here, Nick, for you is, does ecomdash integrate with the BigCommerce platform?
Yes, we do.
Okay, excellent. Let's see. Just for clarification, Atish, would you mind mentioning the range, and maybe if you can explain a little bit more on in terms of the commissions? What does that commissions look like?
Yeah, so actually anybody can sort of go and see the commissions. You can simply do a Google search on commissions on shopping actions. So you'll be able to see what commission do we charge on what product category. But broadly speaking, it ranges, it's a range between 5% to 15% depending on the category. I would say on an average would be somewhere around 11%. And yeah, but it's publicly available. You can just do a simple Google search and you should be able to see the commission rates across categories.
Excellent. So this might be a question for both of you here, but Patricia's asking, is SEO integrated into the platform? And I feel like this is actually probably a question for you both, right? So I'm assuming it's probably integrated into the Google Shopping Actions.
Yeah, so to be honest, I don't understand the question clearly because SEO is very search focused. We were talking about the shopping property, but I'll try to answer that with the new announcement, which sort of provides free listings. That experience on shopping should work very similarly to how Google search works. Because in the new experience, as I had mentioned in my slides as well, ads get a boost, so they come on top. and then followed by shopping actions, and then it's all organic listings. So basis depending on what the user is searching for, where that user is on their shopping journey, and basis that algorithm, organic and unpaid listings will be shown to that user.
Gotcha.
So,
so you go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I don't know if that answers the question, but I'm hoping it was probably on similar lines.
Yeah, so it sounds like, if I'm understanding correctly, I mean, a lot of that would be taken into account as you fill in your product descriptions and you put in the information about your product. A lot of it would be based on that, if I'm understanding the question as well.
Yes, on that, and also on what the user is searching. So if the user is searching for that kind of a product and is at that point in their shopping journey, and that's how the algorithm will sort of match the query to the product. And then rank it accordingly, and then those products will be shown.
Nick, I have a question here from Glenda. She has a shopping site on Weebly. Does ecomdash push to Weebly as well?
Today, we actually do not integrate to Weebly, unfortunately.
Okay. Atish, does Google Shopping Actions operate in the UK presently, and does it have its own fulfillment center?
That's a great question, so short answer is no, we do not operate in the UK. Shopping Actions as a platform, as I think I mentioned it, is available only in US and France for now. But in the US, we are accepting, there is cross-border trade from countries like China, India, and Canada for now. So Canada into the US, China into the US, and India into the US. So these cross-border businesses, these cross-border transactions are possible, but of course it's not like how it operates for the US. So it's not open sign up. It's on a whitelist sort of a basis. So we're still trying this out. But from a UK perspective, my short answer is no. It's not open for cross-border, and we don't have shopping actions in UK as of now. And from a fulfillment, and the question on fulfillment, to be honest, we don't. So we don't offer fulfillment. We have tried our hands at fulfillment, here and there. There was a point in time we used to sort of ship from store. So I would say we're still trying, but nothing important that I can probably sort of speak right now.
Gotcha. So this is a similar question that from Adele here is, would free listing include products that are made overseas but are ordered by a US buyer and shipped from a warehouse located overseas? I think if I'm understanding it.
I'll have to check that. So for free listings is currently offered only in the US. We do plan to roll this out, as I said, across I think about 48 odd countries by end of 2020. So I'll have to be honest, I don't see an issue where if the product is made overseas, as long as the business is in the US and all the business information is in the US and fulfillment is in the US, I don't see an issue, but I can follow up and get back on that one.
Gotcha. Let's see. I'm sure this is probably a question for you, Nick. Diane asked, you integrate with Lightspeed.
So Lightspeed POS, we integrate with Lightspeed through one of our partners. So we partner with eBridge, eBridge Connections, and via eBridge, we can connect to Lightspeed that way. You do have to sign up for an eBridge account, since a lot of our sellers just don't have POS because they're primarily just selling online. But you can connect to Lightspeed via eBridge. And again, happy to connect offline with her to discuss that.
Gotcha. Nick, maybe you could tell us a little bit about the costs of ecomdash. How does that pricing work?
Yeah, sure. So our pricing is purely based on the number of orders that we process for you per month. So our pricing ranges anywhere from $60, which is 0 to 100 orders per month, and then it goes all the way up to like $350 a month if you're processing like between 6,000 and 10,000 orders. But for all Constant Contact customers, we're offering a promotion where you get 50% off your subscription for 4 months. So it would really be $30 for your first 4 months if you're doing under 100 orders per month.
Gotcha. So we have a couple questions left. Before I get to those, this might be a good opportunity actually to share a link out to people regarding ecomdash. So if Steph, if you're in the background there, if you could share a link out in the chat window, get some information there about learning about ecomdash. I also wanted to take a moment to let everybody know about our next webinar, where we're actually going to get a little bit deeper into ecomdash. And so if you want to learn more about that, we're going to be talking about how to sell and manage inventory across multiple online channels. And Nick will be there with us, and we'll have somebody actually doing a demo for us. So if you want to check that out, that'll be our webinar next week. If we could share the link there to that as well, that would be great. And before we finish up the last couple of questions here today, on your way out of the session, you should see, or you'll be asked or prompted to take a quick survey. It's a 1-question survey, and you can leave us some feedback as well. Definitely would love to hear what you thought of this session and if it was helpful for you. We do look at all of that feedback and take it very seriously, so please do let us know what you thought of the session so we can improve these and get more topics for you that you'll find valuable to your business as you're doing this stuff. So I have another question here from Deanie, and she says, our CRM software is integrated with Constant Contact for our email marketing. Does that mean we can easily use ecomdash?
You might help me. I'm not familiar with that. I'm not sure what that tool is used for. So I would need a little bit more clarity on what exactly that is.
I think, Deanie, looking at that question, I would say if you're, what ecomdash will do is allow you to, obviously, if you're selling things from a Constant Contact website, you would be able to manage those listings and take care of that inventory there. But anything you're doing on the ecomdash side or selling on the different locations, it would pull in that information to Constant Contact as well. And so Constant Contact would become kind of the record of the contacts you have from both of those areas. Let's see, I have merchandise that I sell on Teespring. Do you operate with Teespring?
No, not Teespring.
Okay. Cool. All right. So looks like, let me see if I find another one here. We did that. So last question I have for you guys here. And again, I want to thank you both for spending some time with us today. And of course, all of you on the line. But the last question here, Nick, is for you. Can you be a startup business with ecomdash?
Of course, yeah. We definitely have several of our customers that might be selling on one channel today and like doing a little bit on one channel, and then but really want to go and scale to multiple channels. And that's where you can get all your inventory into ecomdash, and that just makes it a lot easier as you continue to sign up and start selling on multiple channels. It just makes it that much easier and quicker for you to start to scale your business. So absolutely, we have I'd say hundreds of customers that are just, maybe they have one integration and they're getting started and they want to really learn more about inventory, and they could have some complex inventory needs that we can definitely help solve. And then from there, they go and they start selling on other channels. So absolutely.
Excellent. Nick, Atish, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge here with us today about Google Shopping Actions and ecomdash and managing that inventory. Thank you all for joining us on the line here today. Hope you found this session valuable. As I mentioned, be on the lookout for an email. We'll send you a recording of this session that'll also include some links in there for you to get to some of the resources that we spoke about here today. And also we'll include a link to a place in our community where we answer some more of these questions or any other questions that came in that we may not have had the opportunity to get to. Nick, Atish, again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you so much.